Is she a dope fiend? He said, yeah, I didn't know this about Crystal.
She says you told her that your woman was a crackhead. Is that true?
Real cases before a real judge.
Plaintiff Crystal Chade has dated the defendant's cousin for 2 years. And after Crystal and her boyfriend got into a physical altercation, the defendant started harassing her. Crystal claims the defendant called her a prostitute and threatened her on social media, and she was forced to file a police report, so she's suing. Defendant Kenyetta Blackshear says after the altercation between Crystal and her boyfriend, Crystal called the police and her boyfriend came to Kenyetta's house. Kenyetta admits that she was angry with Crystal, but insists she never defamed her on social media.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
Okay, well, I'll begin with a little bit of background. I don't know too much about the defendant. All I do know is that I've been dating her cousin for about 2 years. She became my Facebook friend, I say maybe about a year ago. I have noticed from the stuff she put on Facebook, all she likes is drama, confusion, confrontation. Not long
she always
ago,
comment on it.
Not long
What type
ago,
of things?
Not long ago, I seen her on there even dogging her daughter out, talking about her daughter like a dog. She'll go talk about
That's
her
a lie.
co-worker.
On Facebook?
On Facebook.
That's a lie.
She'll talk, excuse
Let
me,
her
Your Honor.
finish.
She'll talk about like her co-workers on there, family members. She's just a dramatic type of person, but none of this ever affected me until October 21st. On the night of the Thursday, October 30th, me and my boyfriend had an altercation. I wanted to go to the casino. So I took $400, went to the casino, stayed out all night, and gambled the $400 away. Needless to say, when I came back home that morning, we had a pretty aggressive argument, and it got pretty heated. We had a little scuffle as far as pushing went on. No hitting went on, and that's another thing because she been putting all on Facebook like I got beat up and all of this and that.
That's a lie.
He never hit me. He pushed me. I called the police because I wanted him to leave. By the time the police had got there, he had already left, so I didn't even open the door because he had went his way, I went my way. I want to say about 7 or 8 o'clock that night, he went over to his cousin's house. I called his phone. She answers the phone. At first, I didn't recognize the voice. I'm like, who is this? It was her. It was like she was pretty much intervening in the relationship.
You knew he was on my way to the
Let her finish.
This the kind, see, that's the type of drama she is. Anything of his you have, you could go through me to get it, or anything of his you have, you could go through me to get it. She was doing all of this and that.
Well, did he instruct her to do that?
Yeah.
No, he told me that she snatched the phone, said, get that phone.
But what she's saying, that's the right thing to do, quite frankly, after a heated argument where the police was called. It's like when there's a restraining order placed on someone, that's what happens. They have to go through someone else. So far, she hadn't done anything wrong.
But, Your Honor, the way I was always raised up, you stay out of relationships because them people going to be right back together.
But that's why I asked whether he told her that, and she says yes.
And he told me that. He right here, he told me he did it. She snatched the phone out of
I
his
snatched
hand.
a grown man phone.
And so, okay, excuse me, Your Honor, because I'm not here to argue with her. That's why we're
Yes,
here.
you are. That's what we're here for.
I'm here
Not
to talk
with
to you.
her.
Not with
All
her.
right,
I'm here
got
to talk
it.
to
All
you.
right, you're here to
Okay.
make your argument about
about
your
the things
case.
that she's
All
doing.
right.
Yeah,
That's what we are.
So okay, so the following day, by 6 o'clock in the morning, me and him was right back together.
Okay, but let me allow her to give some background now, and I'll let her take it up until the point you're referring to. Start with you now.
I didn't, as she said, we really didn't know each other. Keith is my cousin. I basically helped raise him. He grew up with us. Earlier this year, Crystal inboxed me. Keith was in jail. He needed some money. I'm the only person in our family that deals with Keith. Nobody else deals with him.
Why?
He burnt everybody.
Why?
Stealing, lying. Even my grandmother, she's deceased now, but Keith, my cousin, I love
You on
him.
drugs or something?
No, just one of those kids that was just always...
That was steal from your mama and not on drugs. This is a first. Write this down.
He wasn't never on. He was just one of those kids that
likes to lie.
Every person I've known to steal
he's
from
on
their
drugs, I don't know.
mama
Dramatic
beyond
lie.
age 10
Dramatic lie.
He could be a great... He could be...
is a drug addict. Go ahead.
How you a dope?
Other than that, I don't believe you.
I don't really know Crystal.
You steal from your mama? You want to come on up, sir? Because
No, I'm talking about my
they're doing
grandmother.
a lot of talk about you, and all of it isn't very good.
I don't know why she. I don't know
State
what she's
your name
talking about.
first.
My name is Keith Biven. Hers cousin, first cousin, blood cousin.
I don't know any family who deal with them.
You don't steal from your mother.
No.
You haven't?
No.
His my grandmother who raised us, who helped raise him.
I don't deal with my family. Period.
They don't deal with
Why?
him.
Because they full, as you see, they full of drama.
All of them?
They just keep living with me for a week if I'm full of
I got certain ones I
No, he
deal
don't.
with.
Nobody.
But the other ones I don't deal with, far as like, I'm finna give you an example. My cousin going through my private information and giving other people my social security number and my full name. Why would I
His
deal with
baby's
people
mother.
like that?
An alleged
I never had no blood test and no confrontation, no nothing.
All right.
told Crystal-
Let's get back to allowing her to finish her testimony.
Okay.
But let me just say this, ma'am.
say
I'm not
everybody
convinced
crackhead.
that he ripped your grandmother off. Maybe he
yeah,
did
everybody,
before he was
almost all the
age
family.
10, like I did. I used to
Stay
steal
with her
from my
then,
mother
because I
up
love
to
her.
age, I think I stopped at age 7. After a couple of switches, I figured out that's not what you're supposed to do. Go in mama's purse and buy the kids candy. That wasn't the right thing. So maybe it was before you were 7. All right, go ahead. Or you were a late bloomer and may have been up to 10. Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I don't believe this. He was stealing from your grandmama as a grown man, unless you can prove he's on drugs or something. You've never heard of him being on drugs, so therefore I don't believe you. Go
Went to
ahead.
jail for stealing? I don't. But anyway, a long time.
Something totally different.
More of Judge Mathis in a moment.
Just last night and this morning, you dogging him out. He
That's
beat
me.
your A. You get him locked up
That's
and have the police coming. This dope fiend, stupid B, Crystal, trying me. Look, Keith, you better check your B before she come
I
up
said
missing and her kids and her grandma be pimped out.
And later,
I'm many things, cheater, whatever, but I'm not a liar.
Hold on. I'm trying to see. I grew up in Detroit, and I'm proud of where I come from. It's a tough city, but there's a lot of love here. And I carry that tough love with me as a judge. And I still keep it real, hearing real cases with real people from my courtroom in Chicago. I'm Judge Mathis.
1 a day 50 plus.
We had a pretty aggressive argument, and it got pretty heated. We had a little scuffle as far as pushing went on. No hitting went on, and that's another thing because she's been putting all on Facebook like I got beat up and all of this and that.
That's a lie.
He never hit me. He pushed me.
plaintiff Crystal Tate is dating the defendant's cousin, and she claims after they got into an altercation, the defendant started harassing and threatening her and saying she was a prostitute.
Go ahead.
Right before the October 20th situation, I had no issue with Crystal. 2 weeks before then, they stayed in my house. He called me, Kenyatta, we staying in a motel. I have nowhere to go. Can we stay a couple weeks? They only stayed a week, which is fine. No problem. Crystal, we talked, had no problem with her. Keith called me October 20th, was a Thursday. He was on the phone with me. I was leaving work. He like, Kenyatta, she called the police on me. She left last night, smoked up the money. I said, she a dope fiend? He said, yeah, I didn't know this about Crystal. All I know, and that's what he said. He beat her up. She was in the background. Did you tell her you kicked my butt? So I said, Keith, she called. He said, she called the police on me. If I go to jail, you know where I'm at. I said, Keith, leave there. The police coming. Come to my house. He said, I'll call you back. I said, okay. A good 10 minutes later, Keith called, said the police came. He ran. Can you come get me? He came back to my house. She was blowing up his phone that night. I said, Keith, let me see the phone. Let me answer. Crystal, what do you want? You called the police. They took his kid. What do you want? He had my B card, my ID, all her personal stuff. He said, I ain't giving her nothing till she give me my money. She smoked up. That's all I know. All I know is what he told me. Crystal, I'll meet you somewhere. Get the information. You give me the money. He don't.
This is you saying
this.
that.
I'm telling her. She like, okay. Later on that night, she was posting a lot of things on Facebook. My daughter sent it to me. I got
What
aggravated.
happened to meeting her that night? Did that ever occur?
It wasn't going to be that night.
Did you all ever agree to meet?
It wasn't. She said okay. It wasn't going to be that night because she didn't have no money.
Okay, so you all didn't set a time to meet.
No.
All right. She sounds convincing. So other than you being a crackhead, I don't get that.
I mean, that's what he told me. I don't know. That's what they was fighting about. I don't know.
He might smoke a rock or two every now and then. Come on, what? You throwing your hand up, what? You need to stay out of this part. This part you need to stay out of, but go right ahead. You know the judge knows. Go ahead. Yeah, I thought you might want to sit back down. You know.
Okay, well, Judge, because the fact I wasn't there, if he told her to get the phone or not, I don't know. By 6 a.m., yeah, I was calling him again, and right back, we decided we was right back together.
All right, you're suing her, so you tell me what you're suing her about.
I'm suing her about this. She began to, which I would like for you to personally read it because some of it's graphic. She added my kids in it, where insinuating stuff about me being this crackhead, where I had my kids.
I just said what my cousin told me.
He ain't told you that.
Yes, please.
I even tried to call her multiple times on Facebook to try to ask her what the problem was, Judge.
And I didn't answer because I don't deal with her.
Because I didn't know why she was posting this stuff about me, and the stuff was not true. I made a police report about her because she was harassing me, making harassments and threats against me, my children, and my grandmother. You put it on Facebook.
That wasn't harassing you. That's how I felt at the time.
And
one time.
Be quiet.
I have text messages, and then the text messages where my boyfriend was asking her to leave me alone, and she made it clear she's a grown woman, she can say whatever she want. Then, Judge, I'm a singer. I sing at funerals and weddings and stuff. My current video, I have 17.5 views. This is defaming my character, where people is looking at me wondering if I'm some type of drug addict and crackhead because she decided to make these lies up. I've never been a heroin crackhead, powderhead, none of that. She decided to make this up because she was mad.
So get ready to respond. She's blaming this on you, saying that you told her all of this. So, first of all, ma'am, let me read some of the things you've said. You said, Crystal Tate, your dope fiend, cracked out H, need to worry about prostituting all night. LOL. Lil Keith told me he had to slap the stem out of your hand. You were so broke, you went and tricked off to get high, girl. Get your life together. Your kids, you even getting them high.
Your Honor, that's not me.
Go get your kids.
That's not what I said.
Wasn't you even getting them high?
That's
Be a
not
mother
me.
or okay, well, what was you? You said you admitted to some stuff.
Yeah,
because you said he told you.
I said, Crystal, she's a dope fiend. She was going back and forth talking about.
All right, so that's it.
But
here's another one. Let's go to the other one. Just last night and this morning, you dogging him out. He beat your A. You get him locked up and have the police coming. Now you want all back. If Keith get locked up, I'm gonna you up. That's you too?
That's
the threat?
what I said.
Good enough. All right. This dope fiend, stupid B, Crystal, trying me, look, Keith, you better check your B before she come up missing and her kids and her grandma be pimped out. B, don't try me.
I said that.
You dumb, this is her again. She alleges on a text message. You dumb, stupid A, fat B, little Keith don't want your dope head A, prostituting A, ho B. You sold your kids for crack. You sold your kids for crack.
Coming up on Judge Mathis.
Your Honor, during the course of the affair, she did have her own vehicle, but it was broke down, motor problems, and I had taken her many places, as well as let her ride around with me because we were sleeping together, obviously, unbeknownst to my wife, which she's not happy about it.
And still to come.
She called the police on you. How many times?
3.
And she never told the police what it was about, to your knowledge?
She just told them she felt scared. I got pregnant at a very young age.
A young man searching for his mother.
She said, I think I might be your mother.
Will the judge make his dream come true?
Doyle, get the results.
Paternity Week. Next Judge Mathis.
Do you have a pending lawsuit that you want Judge Mathis to decide? If so, call 1-888-VERDICT or visit us online at www.judgemathistv.com.
I didn't know why she was posting this stuff about me, and the stuff was not true. I made a police report about her because she was harassing me, making harassments and threats against me, my children.
Plaintiff Crystal Tate is dating the defendant's cousin, and she claims after they got into an altercation, the defendant started harassing and threatening her and saying she was a prostitute.
She says you told her that your woman was a crackhead and a prostitute. Is that true?
No, sir. I had, like,
That's a lie.
I've been with her for 2 years, almost 2 years. I had my son since he was 6 months. He's 8 years old now. I'm not on no drugs, so why would I have my son around drugs? I don't have my son around no drinking, no smoking marijuana, no...
You smoke marijuana.
He don't be around me, so what?
He don't be around you.
Anyway,
Smoke marijuana outside.
Anyway, I go outside, smoke my cigarettes and marijuana. He don't be around me. I would never have my son, and I would never leave my son around no crackhead.
Got it. All right, you never told her that. I don't believe you told her that either.
Never.
And ma'am, what's your other defense? Why did you threaten her?
She was making a lot of comments on Facebook, which I'm sure she deleted.
You have those?
No, I didn't.
All right, I know, but I have all these that you admit to. Okay, $3,000. Now get out of my courtroom. Okay to that. $3,000 for the harassment. I believe it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, now you crackhead now. What? You know, you get out real high now. You real high. You a dope crackhead now.
Ma'am, you got more class than that. So go.
That's what dope beans do.
Plaintiff Patricia Gardner says she first dated the defendant 10 years ago, but she broke up with him because he was a liar and a cheater. Patricia claims they reconnected a few months ago and started dating because the defendant said he was divorcing his wife. But they're still together, and she's with the defendant in court today. Patricia's suing her ex for a loan. Defendant Christopher Heron admits that he's a cheater who had an affair with Patricia, but insists he's not a liar. Christopher claims he regrets what happened with Patricia, but insists he doesn't owe Patricia for anything.
Start with you.
We met about 10 years ago, and I dated him then. I broke up with him after 7 or 8 months because he was a compulsive liar, a cheater, and I'd had enough. And then we started talking again around February of this year. He told me he owned his own business, which was a plus. I thought he had changed. So we started a relationship because he told me he was planning on divorcing his wife, which that was a lie too. I've even talked to his wife, and there's no planning of a divorce.
She told you what?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it was for him. And he hadn't gotten around to it before you broke up the scheme. You might have been your own worst enemy. You should have let him do his thing. Press him. When did he leave him? When? Instead, you're going to go to her. Your husband is leaving you. What? I'm telling you, he's leaving you. The woman came here and told me you were leaving me for her. She had a little something in her hand. Is that true? Oh, no. We'll call and tell her. But you tell me how it went when you went to his wife.
She answered his phone.
All right. You're talking to her.
Yeah.
And you tell her your husband is planning to leave you.
I told her that, and she said they're working on their relationship, that there's no way that they're getting divorced.
Okay. Is that how that conversation ended?
There was much more to it, but yes.
Okay. What happened from there?
We were still seeing each other, even after that.
Okay. Let me allow him to give some background. Tell me what you want me to know.
First, Your Honor, the reason why I'm here in a wheelchair today is because I got in a bad accident this weekend.
Sorry to hear that.
One, I'm many things, cheater, whatever, but I'm not a liar.
Yes, you are.
Hold on. I'm trying to see.
I never once told
I'm just trying to see. I may have to get a Dixie. Your phone, can you look stuff up?
Yeah. Oh, great.
We're going to see the definition, because I believe if you cheat, hold on, you're being dishonest. Right. Cheaters are dishonest. Is being dishonest equal a liar? I'm asking, I don't know. Look up cheater. Cheater, a person or thing that cheats. Really? It would take you to give me something like that. Come on, get on now. The man you give a calculator to, and he still gives you the wrong numbers. You actually to bring you the definition of cheater. He brings you something that says a cheater is a person who cheats.
Anyway.
You my man, though. There's no question about it. You my man.
Your Honor.
Go ahead. All right. You're a cheater, but not a liar. You stick with that.
I did have an affair with this woman. I realized early on that it was a mistake. During the course of that, you know, I own my own cab company. I let her run up a tab. And actually, it was not for $700.
Okay, now we're getting into the money part, so I'm going to allow her to tell me about the money issue.
More of Judge Mathis when we return.
I can give you the bank statement that shows I took $700 out.
All right, you could have given the $200 to someone else or spent it on groceries, pot, liquor, I don't know. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Judge Greg Mathis.
We started a relationship because he told me he was planning on divorcing his wife, which that was a lie too. I've even talked to his wife and there's no planning of a divorce.
She told you what?
Yeah.
Maybe it was for him. And he hadn't gotten around to it before you broke up the scheme. You might have been your own worst enemy. You should have let him do his thing. Press him. When did he leave? When?
Plaintiff Patricia Gardner says she started dating the defendant after he claimed he was divorcing his wife. But that was a lie, and the defendant is with his wife in court today.
Yes, ma'am. Tell me about the loan you're suing for.
I have my own car. There was no need for me to have a cab. He told me that someone got into his account and he needed money, so I offered him $700. I have a statement that somebody saw me give him the money out of the bank. I have my bank statement showing that I gave him $700.
Okay. When did he say he would repay?
2 months.
All
I
right.
called him the week of the 2 months of being up. I said, do you know what Saturday is? Because his wife was the one that answered the phone. And I said, I need to talk to your husband because I want my money back. And she's going off on me. Well, I will stop talking to him when I get paid back. I don't want nothing to do with either one of them. I could care less.
Okay. The statement you have, does it say it was a loan?
There was a guy that saw me give him the money.
Okay, did he also hear?
No.
He could see you give the money, but he couldn't hear you talk about the money.
And we agreed.
How far was he?
Well, the O'Reilly's parts is right beside the bank. So in his statement, he wrote, he saw him count it not once but twice.
I'm asking you, how far away was he from you?
It's right across the street.
It was 30 feet away?
Possibly.
Okay, it's important that you convince me, because you're going to hand me something that says, let me have it please, that says this person saw an exchange. And let me tell you, I got news for you. He's going to say it was a gift.
Actually, I'm going to say that it was payment for the tab that she ran up.
I have my own car. I don't need
Do you see why it's important that this statement indicate what the money was being exchanged for?
And it was $546, not $700.
He says, I saw 7 U.S. bills. How can he count 7 when you hand it to him
because
from
he
30 feet away?
Well, not once, but twice.
He recounted it how?
Like this?
Why didn't he walk over?
Because he didn't know what the hell I was doing with him.
Oh, okay. So he didn't know that you were giving him money.
Not at the time, but he saw me do it.
I'm going to discredit this statement based on our discussion regarding this statement. He didn't hear whether it was a loan or a gift. That's what that exchange could have been, since he didn't hear anything. So, and he says there was a transfer of money. He says instead of the 7, it was a 5, and he was closer.
I can give you the bank statement.
In fact, he had it in his hand.
I can give you the bank statement that shows I took $700 out.
All right, and you could have given the $200 to someone else or spent it on groceries, pot, liquor, I don't know. All right, but you were loaning it to him and he was to repay it 2 months later. Did you ever contact him in writing, by text, by internet about your money?
Yes, I did.
And you have that with you today?
All my texts were deleted. They were deleted.
All your texts were deleted.
Yep.
So you have absolutely no evidence that says it was a loan.
No.
So let's hear what you have to say, and I'll decide who I believe.
Your Honor, during the course of the affair, she did have her own vehicle, but it was broke down, motor problems, and I had taken her many places, as well as let her ride around with me because we were sleeping together, obviously, unbeknownst to my wife, which she's not happy about it.
You thought it was unbeknownst. That's why she was answering that phone.
I thought it was until I literally
That's why she was answering that phone, sir. She was answering your phone because she suspected that you were seeing that woman. Go ahead, sir. All right, but during the course of the affair, you all would ride together, and then what?
I had asked her for payment for the tab that was on there.
While you were together?
He never asked me for
Quiet, ma'am. While you were together?
Because ultimately, I have a business. My wife does check the numbers. So if I don't have something to show for her while I'm riding around all over the place, she gets real suspicious. Because this isn't the first time that I've cheated on her. It is the last. It came up to $546. There was a transaction at the bank. How somebody could be at O'Reilly's that's probably approximately 75 to 80, maybe 100 feet away, actually, from actually where we were standing, because we were at the lobby door in the parking lot.
Has she requested her money since then? She says she did by text, but she deleted them.
The only thing that I really got was after that I broke it off with her because I realized it was a mistake, and then she started calling my phone.
When was that?
I know for, like, do you know the exact date?
How long after?
She's the one that started.
How long after exchanging the money did you all break up? How long after exchanging the money did you break up?
We probably broke up about a month later.
The case continues after this. And later on Judge Mathis.
She went crazy on me, said she's a Dr. Vicky DiCarlo, that she told me she never worked a day in her life. She says she's a doctor. She says that she threatened me that if I ever call the police again, she would retaliate against me, and that she threatened to kill me with a 3-pound steak.
I got pregnant at a very young age.
A young man searching for his mother.
She said, I think I might be your mother.
Will the judge make his dream come true?
Doyle, get the results.
Paternity Week. Next Judge Mathis.
If you're in Chicago and would like to attend a taping of the Judge Mathis Show, call us at 1-866-3-MATHIS. Plaintiff Patricia Gardner says she started dating the defendant after he claimed he was divorcing his wife, but that was a lie, and the defendant is with his wife in court today.
Is there any evidence by you of the text that she says she deleted?
The only thing
or anything showing this conversation?
The only thing that I have is her texting my wife, asking her to get me, or to get her the money, or is she going to have to take me to court?
Or what?
Asking if she's going to have to take me to court to get her money. And my wife
harassing me.
I don't know what my wife said.
Okay, let's see what your wife said.
There were several more, but...
Will you ask your husband if he's really going to make me take him to court? I have nothing to say to him. Please quit harassing our company. This is my husband and myself. I do not know what you're talking about, and I don't have time for it. All right, it shows that you want some money. You were paid for your bill, for your services.
Sure.
And so you think today she came to try and get $700 from you because of what? Anger?
I've known her for several years, yes, very spiteful.
Okay. And what else has she done?
All kinds of things.
Tell me one.
Harassment.
I mean, she's called my wife several times.
When?
Tell her,
when?
During this.
Right. I'm not talking about this. You said, I've known her for several years. She's very spiteful. The spitefulness that she demonstrated over the years you've known her.
She assumed that I was sleeping with some other woman, and I find her in bed with my best friend.
What did she... Oh, so you're saying she got you back by getting in bed with your best friend. Did that happen?
No.
All right, what else?
No, Judge.
I don't really remember.
Okay. All right. Did you catch him cheating before? Other than him telling you about his wife?
Yes.
And what did you do? What was your reaction?
I thought I could make him stop, but I didn't, so I broke up. I broke up with him.
You just broke up?
Yeah.
All right. You didn't get him back in any other way?
No.
Yeah, you haven't proven that this is out of spite. Ma'am, I can't conclude this is fraudulent. It's not enough evidence for me to determine that this letter he wrote is fraudulent, even though I'm just inclined not to believe it. And the $700, I'm going to grant you that judgment. I believe it's more likely than not that the money was given. I see it's withdrawn around the same day. And never do you deny owing it. Not one piece of paper, sir. So I'm going to believe you that more likely than not you're telling the truth. $700 for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
She's a liar because she told me she was never sleeping with him. But
because your husband told me not to. He's a liar. He's always been a liar. And he's going to stay a liar. He's worthless and pathetic. All I wanted was my money.
If he was so worthless, you wouldn't have pursued him a second time.
I'll give her $700. It's nothing.
To go away.
As long as she goes away.
I would have went away if you'd have paid me before we came to court.
I didn't know you no money.
You should have went away when you knew he was married.
And he should have been cheating on his wife.
Plaintiff Vicky DiCarlo rented a room in the defendant's apartment, and within the first week of living there, the defendant called the police on her 3 times, claiming she felt scared. Vicky claims the defendant served her with an eviction notice after only 2 weeks, and she's suing for emotional distress. Defendant Cynthia Anderson says she first called the police on Vicky after she confessed that she was selling prescription pills and running an internet scam. Cynthia claims the second time she called the police, it was after Vicky threatened her life. So she's countersuing for emotional distress.
Start with you.
Well, I had an ad posted on Craigslist for a 61-year-old female with 2 kitties that I adore, looking for a new place to live. Ms. Anderson responded to my ad, text back that she had the perfect places in PURR for kitties. I went over there with my best friend and my witness statement, and she seemed rather nice and normal. It was a little bit of an older apartment building. I asked if I could please think about it for 24 hours. She subsequently called me back that evening to convince me to move in. That's when I agreed to do so.
What was it like living there?
Well, she was working quite a bit. She was gone most of the time. I have never had a roommate before, but I would have thought I was fabulous. I was a live-in housekeeper, housewife. All I did was clean out 6 kitty boxes all day, sweep up the litter, make sure everything would be perfect, and all she had to do when she came in would be relax and say hello to her kitties. Things were fine.
Okay, so something went bad, but we'll get to that.
Don't go away. More of Judge Mathis is coming up. And it's home. But the defendant claims she was forced to call the police after Vicky threatened her life.
You give me some background?
She had 2 cats, and that really moved my heart because I had 3 cats already living there, and she wanted to take care of them. And so I did reach out to her to move in, and we discussed it, and I did, kind of try to make her feel comfortable moving in.
All right, and how was it with her living there?
She did help with the cats because that was part of our agreement with moving in, is that she would help with the cats while I was gone 16 hours a day.
Okay.
So
what went wrong?
Within the first week, she called the College Park, which is a little city
suburb of Atlanta, I know.
3 different times.
Saying what?
She was scared. Never once did they even want to speak with me.
She called the police on you. How many times?
3.
And she never told the police what it was about, to your knowledge?
She just told them she felt scared. The officer said, of what? Her answer was, I do not know.
And you still don't know?
And they never asked to speak with me at all.
And you still don't know?
Never have.
Okay, this is a good time to ask. The first time you called the police on her, in fact, why don't you just ask her, why did you call the police
Ms.
that first time?
Why did you call the police the first time?
when you came to my kitchen after a long day of work, you came in and handed me a black man's Social Security card and ID. You're obviously not a black man. You don't have a Social Security. Why do you have a Social Security ID of a man? You asked me to help you dispose of it, put it in my hand. Then you went on to tell me that you sell your prescription medication for $500 a month. And then you went on to tell me about more illegal activity that you normally do. Like you have a domain name that says VickyDiCarlo.com, and you used to scam people by telling them to send you money for no product at all so that you could get money.
This is the first time when you called the police?
That is why I called the police.
Do you recall saying any of these things to her?
No, sir.
So you deny everything she just said?
Everything.
And so you believe she made all that stuff up to call the police the first time?
Because she felt scared.
Yeah, and she said why? Did you call a second time?
Yes, I did.
Why did you call a second time?
Because after the first time that the police came to mediate the conversation where I was going to ask her to offer to give her money back and ask her to leave because of her illegal activity, she went crazy on me, said she's a Dr. Vicky DiCarlo, that she told me she never worked a day in her life. She says she's a doctor. She says that she threatened me that if I ever call the police again, she would retaliate against me, and that she threatened to kill me with a 3-pound steak. And I said, my life is in danger. I do not feel safe in my home.
So I'm going to call the police.
So I'm calling the police. She threatened me if I called again, got into my face and said, I am a crazy lady.
Got it.
Never seen.
Do you have a police report?
In all of them moving, I have nowhere to live right now. I haven't able to get.
Do you remember that?
I remember probably saying that and probably much more.
Okay. Why?
Because you do not call if you have a problem with someone and it's a very tiny apartment, you come and you speak with me if there's a problem. She would send me text messages from the bedroom as opposed to coming up with me.
All right. And third time, why did you call them?
Because she threatened my life and my cats, and I felt unsafe. And
how did it come up this time? You keep saying she threatened. I got the first two threats. The third threat, what happened? What provoked that incident?
The incident is that the night before, I had given her an eviction letter in writing, and she told me the next day that she was going to move more things into the apartment. And I asked her kindly not to do that thing. I actually have it on record if we can listen to the recording.
Yes.
Yes.
And I have written eviction.
Hold on, ma'am.
She has threatened my life, and she's threatened to harm my cats. And I don't appreciate her threatening that she's going to call dope boys on the street.
Again, at this moment, this is civil. If it continues forward, it will become a criminal action, and then at that time, it will be determined who, what, and when action is taken. So I would suggest that y'all both take a mature stand on this and make the best of it.
I would appreciate that you make a note that I am not the one that is called.
Yes, ma'am. All right.
Thank you for your time, sir. Sorry she disturbed you again.
All right. Police just told you guys to chill out. And lastly, you have something you wanted to tell me. What is it?
It's the note that she left me.
Saying what?
That I was being evicted.
Okay, this is her eviction notice.
No formal notice was ever
Got it. This is formal. All right. When somebody writes you, they don't have to have it necessarily on a particular form. They can tell you, I want you to move out, and hand that to you. And then they have to go and get a court order, however, in order to have you move out. Unless you got that, ma'am, she did not have to move out. But what did happen when you received this notice?
She turned off the power. So
that's what I need to hear. How long after giving you this did she turn off the power?
Within 4 days or 5 days.
Okay. Ma'am, did you turn off the power on her after giving her this notice? And if so, how long thereafter?
Okay, I moved out after giving her notice. The next morning after giving her
moved?
I moved all of my stuff, and I didn't have money to do it, but I moved all my stuff out because I did not feel safe.
Judge Mathis continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Mathis.
I got pregnant at a very young age.
A young man searching for his mother.
She said, I think I might be your mother.
Will the judge make his dream come true?
Doyle, get the results.
Paternity Week. Next Judge Mathis.
Warning, when you think you need a paternity test, call 1-888-VERDICT or visit us online at www.judgemathistv.com. Plaintiff Vicky DiCarlo rented a room in the defendant's home, but the defendant claims she was forced to call the police after Vicky threatened her life.
Did you turn the lights off within 3 or 4 days of giving her this notice?
I did because I had moved out and was not able to pay the bill.
All right. And you did not get a legal eviction or order saying she must move out?
I did go to the court and get a dispossessory.
Do you have that?
By the time they did come to give it to her, she had already moved most of her things out of the apartment and was gone.
So they just took it back?
So they just said, call the police, or they said, call the courthouse the following business
They said
day.
that to who?
They said that to me.
And what they do with the order?
They took it back with them. The marshal took it with him.
Okay. And your counterclaim, how does she owe you?
$3,000 of emotional distress.
What did she do?
She threatened my life, my cats, to the point that now I have nowhere to live. I have no place to go. I've been asking friends. I missed 3 days of work trying to find a place to live. Because of this incident, I've been scared for my life. This lady has called my phone since I left.
Let me ask you this. Why don't you think the police ever took you seriously when you called them 3 times saying this woman has threatened my life?
That what the police told me was because she's living there, it is civil, and they can't get involved into a civil situation. That it has to go through the courts.
Well,
that is
a lot of criminals want to hear that.
That's
all you got to do is move in with somebody. You threaten them, rob them, do whatever you want. Police come. This is a civil matter. I can threaten her life all I want.
I was also shocked myself.
All right, you were shocked, but the police told you it was civil, so her threatening your life.
Her threatening my life, and I did tell them
is only a civil claim.
Exactly. I was
all right.
surprised.
You sound unreasonable. I don't believe you. You don't have a copy of your court order. I don't believe the story you gave me. I don't believe you received a court order to put her out. I think that all you did was give her this, and since she didn't move in time, as she says, you turned her lights out. That is a what, ma'am?
I do have a TPO that I filed
a protection order. I know about all this. All right. Judgment for the plaintiff. This was an illegal eviction, turning her lights off within days of giving her a notice. Many landlords do it, and many landlords get treble damages, which is triple, which she would be entitled to. I'm giving her $3,000 that she has asked for and dismissing your claim. Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Your Honor. I wish her only the best, but I am very glad that Judge Mathis saw I was in the right and I did win the case.